Hey guys, Dr. Justin Marcagiani here today. We're going to be talking about the top 5 nutrients that you can use to help improve and master your blood sugar. So, blood sugar is such an important thing because it plays a major role with all the systems of your body. If your blood sugar is too high, your pancreas and your beta cells are producing too much insulin. That creates insulin resistance. Insulin's very hard on the kidneys, it's very hard on the microcapillaries in the eyes. High levels of insulin is also going to impact the liver. It's going to cause you to overstore glycogen and fructose in the liver. You'll have a fatty liver. It's going to cause systemic insulin problems. It's going to glycate all your proteins and cause accelerated aging internally as well as externally, aging, sunspots, etc. And so we really want to get to the root cause of why that insulin is overproduced. We want to talk about the big 5 nutrients that we can utilize to bring that in check. Now, foundationally, I like to talk about the diet foundation first because all the supplements I recommend will all be sitting on top of a solid diet. Before I dive in too deep, please click down below. There'll be a link if you want to reach out, subscribe, notification button to get access to good information coming your way. Also, love to see your comments down below. It really helps the search algorithm. And if you want to reach out and you want functional medicine support with helping to optimize your blood sugar, there'll be a link down below where you can reach out to the staff and team. All right, so first thing you can do out of the gate, let me grab it here. Get a good blood sugar meter. Blood sugar meters are excellent. They can really give you a window into how your insulin resistance is going. So essentially, your conventional medicine approach to managing blood sugar is, hey, 12 hours, get a fasting glucose in the morning with a blood test. Typically, you go to a lab, get it drawn. It's part of a comprehensive metabolic panel. Blood sugar comes back. You have to be pretty insulin resistant for that to be high because you have 12 hours to clear out that glucose. And so if it's high, you could also have a Dawn phenomenon or a Somogyi effect. So it may not necessarily be the fact that you're insulin resistant. It just could be the stress response from the needle. It could be just that Dawn phenomenon or Somogyi effect from cortisol awakening response, or just the adrenaline in the morning. It's very possible that could be it. So I look at glucose a little bit differently. We will test it. Use your finger prick. Test right on the side of your pinky is a great spot to do it. We want to do 3 in a row. And I like to look at a fasting blood sugar as soon as you get up, before you walk around. Because in that first 30 minutes of waking, your cortisol doubles in the first 30 minutes. That's called the cortisol awakening response. And that high amount of cortisol in you walking around could mobilize more glucose. So put it on your nightstand. As soon as you get up, test it. Get a good fasting window where your blood sugar's at. Go have a meal. Run a 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. Ideally, we do not want to be over 140 to 120 in the first hour. Ideally, extra points if you're under 120. And then hour 2, we definitely want to be under 120 to 100. Hour 3, definitely under 100. So we want our blood sugar curve to go like this. We're at fasting. Let's say we're at 90. We go up to like 120 in that first hour. We're coming back down. And then with hour 2 and 3, we're back down to where we are. It's like this. The higher our blood sugar goes up and the longer it stays up, the more insulin resistant we are. And this is important because insulin resistance is going to cause all kinds of other problems. Insulin resistance is going to cause microvascular blood flow issues. Think of eyes, think of peripheral neuropathy, fingers and toes. Think of kidney stress. Think of heart stress because it's going to cause you to hold on to more electrolytes. And that's going to cause a higher blood pressure. The higher your blood pressure goes, the higher your heart has to, the harder your heart has to pump to overcome that pressure to move blood through the body. So it puts pressure on and stress on the heart, on the kidneys, on the microvascular, on the peripheral nerves. It's going to impact your skin, anything that has collagen or connective tissue. So you really want to manage your blood sugar. Also, blood sugar swings are one of the biggest hormonal stressors on your body. So especially if you're a female and you're having blood sugar going up and down, it's a great recipe to deplete or lower your progesterone and start to create estrogen dominance. As a guy too, increasing your insulin like that, it's a great chance that you're going to aromatize and cause more of your testosterone to go into estrogen. So really, both sexes have such an important goal to manage blood sugar because it impacts the hormones a little bit differently. So that being said, blood sugar meter will be your trusty guide to see how good or how bad you're doing. Also, love to see your fasting insulin below 10, ideally below 7. That's a great test. Looking at with blood sugar aberrations, going high and staying high, is we're looking at insulin resistance. Until they have an insulin meter along like side this, then you'll have everything you need. But right now, that's the best way we can do it, and then we can really see how your body responds. And carbohydrate matters because carbohydrate breaks down to glucose. Now, obviously, different carbs break down in different things. If it's like fruit, you're going to have fructose and glucose. Fructose tends to be the carbohydrate that's more damaging because it preferentially gets metabolized in the liver. You have less reservoir for storing fructose in the liver than you do in the muscles. Glucose, so starches, think squash, sweet potato, preferentially go to the muscles first. You have 5 to 6 times more storage sites in the muscle. So fructose tends to be much more damaging due to that. It also can inhibit the carnitine palmitoyltransferase CPT1 enzyme. That's the enzyme that takes carnitine and it uses carnitine to shuttle fat into the mitochondria to burn it. So when you start to increase insulin resistance, you increase uric acid. Good marker for uric acid is greater than 5. We're starting to become insulin resistant. We may start to see our liver enzymes go above 30, ALT above 30, and that can impact that carnitine palmitoyltransferase, CPT1, and that impacts how your body takes fatty acids and shunts it to the mitochondria to burn it. When you're insulin resistant, your body does not want to burn fat, and so it's easier for fat on your body to accumulate because your body doesn't want to burn it. And we want to be able to tap into fat on our body and also our food, but also on our body. So we're always maintaining that homeostasis. If for some reason you kind of mug your metabolism over time, you will gain more weight because now you cannot touch any calories on your skeletal system. So that being said, diet, lifestyle, we talked about that. We want to get inflammation down because some people, even though gluten has carbs in it, some people will get a more profound blood sugar spike with an inflammatory food because it's creating a cortisol adrenaline response that's causing a greater mobilization of glucose. And so sometimes it's not all about carbohydrates. It can also be about the inflammatory nature of that food and how that inflammation impacts your hormones, adrenaline, cortisol, and that can also cause blood sugar fluctuations as well. Keep that in the back of your head. All right, so let's go into some of the nutrients. So big one out of the gate, cinnamon's excellent. I put that one in my Gluco Synergy product. Cinnamon's excellent. It's going to help with good blood sugar utilization. It's going to help you. It's going to mimic insulin activity to increase. It's going to basically take insulin and it's going to allow it to transport glucose into the muscle, into the cell better and utilize it for fuel. So it's going to have excellent efficacy at helping that glucose get into the cell so the body can burn it. Your body will use GLUT4 receptor sites to kind of pull some of that glucose in, and insulin will definitely help that. Some studies show that cinnamon can reduce fasting blood sugar levels and may have a beneficial effect on glycemic control. That just means keeping your blood sugar a lot more stable. So good nutrient we can add in. Again, I'll put it on my Granny Smith apple and some almond butter. Great way to get cinnamon in and just topically put it on a nice fruit that you like, and it'll lower your blood sugar from that. Movement after exercise is powerful. Like I've seen 15, 20% reduction in blood sugar just going for a 5 to 10 minute walk after a meal. So if your blood sugar's up, let's say it's greater than 120, 130, 140, just do a 10-minute walk. You'll pull that blood sugar down 10, 20 points pretty easily. You can also pregame it by just doing like maybe 10, 15 air squats before you eat. That gets those GLUT4 receptor sites up on the muscle and ready to pull that glucose in so then you can utilize it and store it in the muscle as glycogen instead of leave it in the bloodstream. Alpha lipoic acid, it's a sulfur compound. It's a powerful antioxidant, definitely has insulin sensitizing benefits, helps reduce blood sugar. Anytime you sensitize insulin, you are going to manage blood sugar better. It aids in the conversion of glucose into energy. That means glycolysis, breaking glucose down, utilizing it, converting it into ATP. You get some ATP production through glycolysis. You get some through the Krebs cycle / citric acid cycle, and the most you're going to get is going to be through the electron transport chain. But that enhances glucose uptake. Alpha lipoic acid also been shown to reduce peripheral neuropathy. So if you have very high blood sugar, that can cause inflammation of the nerves, and that can really help improve nerve damage, especially the R-lipoic acid is really good. Chromium, awesome, very good. Plays a very important role with carbohydrate and fat metabolism. It's going to help insulin maintain sensitivity. So the more sensitive your insulin is, the less of it you need. The less of it you need, the less chance your cells have it becoming insulin resistant. And this is going to help with less blood sugar. Chromium has been found to be beneficial at improving glycemic control. That just means preventing the high and low blood sugar swings. Keeps the blood sugar a little bit more even. The more we spike blood sugar up and down, that's where we have the insulin surge and the cortisol adrenaline drop. So that's going to keep your blood sugar in check. Berberine. Berberine is very powerful. Oregon grape, berberine, barberry, golden seal, right? These have been shown to be very helpful at reducing blood sugar. Again, I'll use berberine for clearing out gut bugs, SIBO, bacterial overgrowth. So berberine is also used to lower cholesterol too, in a kind of a natural way. Tends to not do it in a way that over reduces it, like certain medications may. It has a lot of different mechanisms how it works. It's going to help with insulin sensitivity. It's going to help with glycolysis, helping to break down the blood sugar better. It's also going to help with gluconeogenesis, meaning it's going to help their body produce less glucose from the liver, right? The liver will make glucose through gluconeogenesis. It'll take protein and it'll make new glucose. So gluco means glucose, neo means new, genesis means to form. So it'll form new glucose out of protein typically. And so that's kind of how metformin works too. Metformin's a medication out there which is typically naturally derived from a French lilac flower, and it works by decreasing glucose absorption in the stomach/intestines, but it also works on decreasing gluconeogenesis, similar to berberine. Now, berberine does knock down a lot of bugs, so you have a chance of, really potentially overdoing it and knocking down the microbiome a little bit too low, and that could impact probiotics. So I would not use berberine all the time. I much rather use a nutrient more regularly, i.e. chromium, i.e. ALA. I much rather use those things, i.e. cinnamon, kind of more readily. I'd also add B vitamins. A good B complex is powerful. B vitamins, B1, right, which is going to be, B1 is going to be thiamine. B2 is going to be riboflavin. B3 is going to be niacin. B5 is pantothenic acid. B6, pyridoxine hydrochloride. B7 is going to be biotin. B9 is going to be folate. B12 is going to be B12. And you have your adenosine, methyl, and hydroxyl. But these are important nutrients that help with blood sugar metabolism. When you look at the Krebs cycle, and you look at, it goes from succinate to malate to fumarate, you look at these intermediary steps around the Krebs cycle, your body will basically take glucose, it'll take fat, it'll take protein, it'll shunt it all into acetyl-CoA, and acetyl-CoA will funnel into the Krebs cycle and pumps around twice. And as it pumps around, it takes magnesium, it takes B vitamins to run that Krebs cycle. So it's very important there's enough B vitamins on board. So a B complex is going to be excellent. Magnesium is going to be excellent. Magnesium is going to help at the insulin receptor site where blood sugar binds, right? Insulin is going to be there to help regulate that. It's going to help with blood sugar. It's going to help with just the overall metabolism and breaking down glucose via that Krebs cycle. So very powerful. So B vitamins, I would just do a B complex. I wouldn't, just say one. If we have lots of peripheral neuropathy, we may add in especially B vitamins, but also B1. We may even add in a fat-soluble B1 called benfotiamine, which is a fat-soluble B vitamin that gets right into the nerve myelin in case there's a lot of peripheral neuropathy and a lot of inflammation. Next, omega-3s. Omega-3s, actually, they're PPAR agonists. So they work on the PPAR agonist mechanism. So they're going to improve adiponectin, which is going to help a lot with appetite. It's going to help with insulin sensitivity. Almost all of these nutrients are going to work on making insulin more sensitive at the receptor site level. Insulin has to dock. Insulin docks. The receptor site of the cell opens up, and then it allows glucose to be taken up by the cell. So insulin comes in. It's like, think of insulin as the key. Receptor site is the lock. Comes in, boom, opens it. Now the cell is open, and now glucose can come in. So if we're insulin resistant, now we need 2 keys. Now we need 3 keys. And so to be insulin sensitive, we can go back to 1 key. So we need less keys to open the lock. Now, in this analogy, keys don't have an impact on the environment, but more insulin, like I mentioned, causes vascular issues, denatures collagen, protein, stressful on the kidneys, stressful on the vasculature, makes it harder on the heart. I didn't even mention, but insulin also will knock out, and fructose will knock out eNOS pathways, endothelial nitric oxide synthase. Those are going to be vasodilators. They lower blood pressure. When you lower blood pressure, you take stress off the heart. So higher adiponectin levels, which are going to be increased with omega-3s, are associated with better blood sugar control. We're going to be able to manage blood sugar better. It's more of a snake along type of blood sugar versus a roller coaster blood sugar. And that's going to help reduce inflammation. Omega-3s are going to work on that prostaglandin 2 pathway. It's going to reduce inflammation, and it also is going to play a role with insulin resistance, meaning you need less insulin, less of the deleterious side effects that insulin causes. Again, when we talk about hormones, it's always the Goldilocks effect, right? Not too high, not too low, just right. Hope that helps, guys. Let me just kind of recap here. We have cinnamon, very important. You can use that on your food, use it on your apples, really nice, going to work on glucose transport, glycolysis. ALA, very powerful. I'll typically do a reverse alpha lipoic acid, very helpful with peripheral neuropathies, damaged nerve, helping to lower blood sugar. Chromium, excellent, powerful, will work on that insulin receptor site and help with glycolysis and bringing glucose into the cell. Berberine works excellent. Will also decrease gluconeogenesis, similar to metformin or French lilac flower. And then your omega-3s are going to be a PPAR agonist. It's going to work on blood sugar stability, insulin sensitivity. I also added some bonus ones in for you. I said 5 today, but I'm over delivering for you guys. A good B complex works on the Krebs cycle, so you can pump that Krebs cycle around, take that acetyl-CoA, use the B vitamins, and also use that magnesium to really help convert that glucose, break it down, and generate ATP or fuel out of it. Hope this helps, guys. Again, my big labs out of the gate are going to be a fasting insulin, get it below 10, ideally below 7. Run your functional glucose tolerance test, see how you respond to food. Again, if your waist is starting to get, greater than 35 inches as a guy or 30 as a female, it's a good sign. Your waist will be kind of your insulin meter. So you get a couple levers. You reduce the carbohydrate, do more vegetables, maybe a little bit of low sugar fruit, and reduce some of the starch, or add a little bit of movement. Add some steps, add some resistance training. That'll help your body basically deplete and squeeze that glycogen out of the muscle, and then you have more reservoir to soak up other glucose hanging out in the bloodstream. Hope that helps, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you want to dive in deeper, there'll be links down below. If you want to reach out to my staff and team, we're happy to help you and provide functional medicine support worldwide if you need that. All right, guys, make sure you subscribe, notifications, bell, comments below. All right, guys, take care. Have a good day. Bye.